So upon the sacking of Maurizio Pochettino at Chelsea, we've actually seen a lot of managers being linked with the job at Chelsea. And these managers who are being linked to the job at Chelsea are not managers who have achieved a lot, are not the usual names that we've seen. Managers such as Maresca and Kieran McKenna have been linked to Chelsea. And these are managers who have performed well, but have performed that in a lower division, that is the Championship, with both managers having different styles of play. But Chelsea have emphasized that they want a manager who's a possession-oriented manager. And that manager that I think Chelsea are actually looking for is Zerbi. There are rumors that are going that Zerbi has actually agreed a deal with a certain club, and actually a certain club has already played the release clause for Zerbi. Zerbi at Chelsea will be meeting players who he has worked with before, and that is Colwill, Mikhailo Mudryk, and Moises Caicedo. These players understand what Zerbi wants in his team, and in our video today we are going to tactically analyze Zerbi's system. So Zerbi is a manager who plays possession-based football. His football involves controlling games from their defensive third, midfield third, and actually generating transition moments in attack. He's one of the most revolutionary managers who even Pep Guardiola has praised, and a key insider in Manchester City explains this.
Pep Guardiola taught us a new way of building from the back, of getting the ball through the middle, of actually preparing for the last pass. He's done all that and he's new. The next step would be to organize attack. So attack where, forget your instinct, you're gonna have to do what has been trained. He will need another 10 years to get there. And he will know how to, and he would, but he's got 2 years. Let somebody else get with the evolution of football. And there's only one manager that has understood that and has put in practice the next phase, and it's Roberto Zerbi.
Oh.
Roberto Zerbi. They speak for hours. They speak in the language that only them two understand. When they're talking, everybody leaves the room after half an hour because they don't understand what they're talking about. And Pep has taken things from Brighton, and Roberto Zerbi's Brighton, because Pep, I think, understands that's the guy. So I think he could end up being his replacement at City and take football to another level.
Before we start our analysis, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. So Roberto Zerbi is a possession-based manager, and his main aim is to control the ball, especially on his own defensive third, different from what Guardiola does. So Zerbi's system involves ball-playing goalkeeper, ball-playing fullbacks, ball-playing central defenders, and ball-playing holding midfielders who he uses as center midfielders. And I'm going to explain this based on his prime Brighton side that had Caicedo and McAllister. So he likes his fullbacks to start slightly deeper and slightly wider. He wants his forwards to hug the touchline, especially the wingers, and he wants his holding midfielders to play close to each other. This enables them to create triangles and passing channels where they are able to move the ball on all the phases of play. So because Brighton build with a lot of players, a lot of teams decide to push a lot of players to try and press Brighton. And this is what Brighton wants. Because if the team commits a lot of players to press them, then they have an opportunity to have a lot of players in between the lines, or to have a lot of players looking to run at the backline, because he's able to create those transition moments. And this is because he likes to create that double box in midfield. The first box is formed with the center backs and the two holding midfielders. Now, when you look at this structure, you're going to realize that when a center back receives the ball, the opposite central midfielder drops deep, and this makes him allow him to have to create a passing channel for the center back. And once he receives this ball, he's able to play players in between the lines, especially the dropping in forwards, because he likes to use his number 9 and number 10 as twin false nines. Now, if players commit to press both two central midfielders, then what you're going to realize is that they are going to use third man combinations by receiving the ball with this back to goal and immediately laying the ball towards the other central midfielder. And that's why he likes his two central midfielders to play close to each other. And that is one way in which he builds from the back. The other way that Zerbi's Brighton or Zerbi's teams build from the back is having their centre back step onto the ball, then play the ball onto the fullback. And once the ball is played onto the fullback is able to play the ball to the winger, who is able to play a layback pass to the holding midfielder. And now the holding midfielder can push forward with the ball, having runners ahead of him. And that is also another way he does it. Now, note this, that he likes to find his central midfielders when their back is not to goal. And this is achieved either by one central midfielder dropping deep to receive the ball directly from the goalkeeper and looking to lay the ball directly to the other centre back. Now the centre back is able to receive this ball and look to play the ball onto the other central midfielder, who's more likely to progress with the ball much higher up the pitch. And this is something that we've seen Zerbi do. And his centre backs hold on to the ball until they are able to bait a press. They just don't make a pass before the press is created. And once they hold on to the ball and the opposition is coming close to them, they are able to play the balls onto the dropping in forward and find the central midfielders again with third man combination passes. And that is a key facet of Zerbi ball, those third man combination passes that you usually see. Once they receive the ball in this position, look at this play. The centre back holds on to the ball till the player comes to press them. Again, holds on to the ball. Then once the ball has Roberto Zerbi's team to actually play. And these third man combination passes are what makes them so difficult to control, because they know how to do this. That is what they do in training every day. Now, his attack is much more fluid. He wants his wingers to start wide and hold the touchline. And that enables his number 9 to drop deep. And that's why I believe Jackson will really thrive if...
We need number 9, smart, intelligent, to understand when he has to play, when he has to attack the space, when he has to open this space for Mitoma, for example, or to open this other space. If you work in...
Now look at how he generates space. Look at the position of the centre backs and the goalkeepers and the two holding midfielders. The opposition is committing players to press them aggressively higher up the pitch. See the position of the two forwards. They have dropped so deep they are playing as midfielders. Now the centre backs have pushed forward to press them, and look at the gaping hole that has been created in the middle of the back. Look at that hole. Look at that space that Zerbi was talking about. That is what he tries to create. And when you press him, he's able to create those situations where he's able to destroy teams with. And that is what makes the two forwards who actually play in between the lines the most important cog of the Roberto Zerbi system. And looking at this situation, you're able to see even how the midfielders are able to drop deep directly from the goalkeeper, receive the ball from the goalkeeper, and look to play those laying third man passes towards the centre backs. The centre backs are able to find these inside midfielders in this position. And if a centre backs commit to step out to press these midfielders, then he's able to have wingers now making those diagonal passes in behind the spaces that have been vacated by the centre back. And that is what also makes his team even more and more lethal. And looking at these diagonal movements from the wingers, it showcases the ability of his teams to create this space, and therefore players such as Mudryk and Noni Madueke can really benefit from making those runs. Alternatively, he'll have his two mid-attacking players, the number 10 and the number 9, to play positions in between the centre back and the defender. And that what happens is that it allows the wingers to now tuck in and occupy these central positions. And this might be suitable for wingers such as Raheem Sterling and Cole Palmer if Palmer plays down the wide areas, so that Palmer is able to receive this position, the ball in these inside midfield channel positions. Let's look at what he does in the progressive phases of play, especially higher up the pitch. So Zerbi's system will mainly build with a 4 at the back. And because of the two holding midfielders, team usually try to create that overload to deny these two players time and space on the ball. Now, this is where we see the role of Zerbi's fullbacks, because the fullbacks are very important when it's high up the pitch, with one fullback looking to invert while the other one looking to overlap. And I'm going to explain how these combinations actually work on the pitch and how he actually manages to get this. So if a winger tucks in because a forward has dropped deep to link up with the midfielder, then the fullback will look to overlap and generate the width. And in this position, the main aim of the fullback is having runners making runs ahead of him, where he can look to actually cross the ball towards those runners. That is one way he achieves this. The other way he tries to achieve this is using the inverted fullback. And down the right hand side, this is going to help Chelsea, especially when they have a player such as Reece James, who's familiar with both positions. And when you have a forward dropping deep, and then this forward is able to also make those late runs in between the center backs to actually create those overloads. A midfielder might join him, and this is where the fullback actually comes and inverts, because Zerbi wants to control the midfield by having these players. And even sometimes when forwards drop slightly deeper, a midfielder a fullback can invert while another fullback overlaps, and having a lot of almost 4 players making runs. And these are one of the dynamics and patterns of position play that Guardiola has been evolving in football. And that's what makes Zerbi a very special coach and a manager who's able to take football towards the next level. The next evolution is how to control attacks. And this is something that Zerbi has actually come up with a way of trying to do. And this, enabled with technical players such as Fernandes and Cole Palmer, who are very good in these kinds of roles, will showcase how Chelsea will actually grow into a very better team in the future. This, complemented with also fullbacks who are able to understand their roles such as Cucurellla, Reece James and Gusto, Chelsea are looking to actually be one of the best teams in Europe when they put in the practices employed by Zerbi. Chelsea are going to improve tremendously under Roberto Zerbi. And also for Chelsea fans, you need to understand that Zerbi is also a manager who's quite animated at the touchline. He likes to be very engaging with the fans. He likes to create that atmosphere, create that emotions during the pitch. Also, his former players talk about how he's very, very particular during training. He does not entertain any jokes during training. His patterns of play during training are very fixated, and he emphasizes on retaining possession. His main aim is to control games. This is something that Chelsea have really lacked. And Zerbi is a manager a lot of people will talk about. He did not perform well in his second season at Brighton, but you don't expect him to perform so well with an inferior squad. What is he going to do with a squad of talented players and very, very strong personnel? My other option is Enzo Maresca. I'm going to do an in-depth analysis on this manager. He's a manager who I would also fancy. He has worked under Pep Guardiola, and his system is also a possession-based system. If you've enjoyed this analysis, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.